What is up, everybody? This is Les Paul Obsession again with another GTA 5 garage showcase. This is my stilt mansion in Vinewood Hills. This garage is home to, as you might have guessed it, all of my rich people cars. So, supercars, business casual cars, cars that I would envision some rich businessman to have hiding in a garage somewhere. So, yeah, let's get started. This is where all my super expensive or super rich cars are. The stereotypical rich man. On the left here, we have the Grotty Cheetah. This car has been in GTA since I started playing GTA way back on GTA 3. This is one of the cars that I would chase after because it was just a neat looking car even then. And obviously, supercar being a supercar, it is not a very practical car to drive around. It's a great car to look at. It sounds good. It's a fast car. I just, don't drive supercars all that often, and it's got the giant ass hood trunk thing. Lava red with, I think, a lighter, maybe a yellow pearlescent to make that lava stand out a little bit, and then black cheetah wheels with custom tires, and then obviously I don't think it has a secondary, but if it does, it's definitely not this body panel thing, this black color, because that's all carbon fiber, or all carbon, so it's not gonna change. You could get it in blue, pink, green, orange, yellow. Fuchsia is always gonna have that black piece there, so definitely a good looking car, really nice looking engine. It's just a nice car all around, and it cost, I think it's like $650,000. But rich people cars. Speaking of rich people cars, the next car is the Cognoscenti 55. This is my commuting car as a businessman. Usually I'm wearing a suit and I'm in the back seat as I have somebody chaperone me around downtown Los Santos. This is a car that I always take to the golf course if I'm playing golf with friends on the game or something. It does have a nice, it's got a nice engine sound. It is a good looking car, but obviously for a very small audience of people. My favorite part about this car is, before I open everything up, the license plate. Rich a-hole. I thought that was pretty appropriate, given that the car came with the Executives and Other Criminals DLC, and that whole DLC is about trying to be rich. So not much to it. It's a gloss black car with the customizable, with the Executives and Other Criminals. Some of these newer Legendary Autosports car, you can customize the interior colors, and this is one of them. And so I put like the khaki or tan leather interior style in it, so it really matches the outside. And so, yeah, I think it's a really good looking, like, business car that you could just see a businessman driving to and from his giant 40,000 story apartment building with, or not apartment building, but office building. So, yeah, that's the Cognoscenti 55. 2 down, 8 to go. The next one is the Dinka Gesture. Originally bought this car because I just thought it looked cool, and then found out it was not a supercar, which I was actually surprised. Performance-wise, it's fantastic, and it's actually a sports car, but it's kind of got a profile very similar to that of a supercar. It's one of my favorite sports cars. I still don't drive it often, but if I'm racing in sports cars, I always pull this one out because it is a phenomenal sports car. Let's pop the hood and doors and get it started and fired up. I've got it in blue with, I think I've got it in like a dark shader blue, like a galaxy blue or something like that, with like a light race blue pearlescent overlay on it to make that blue kind of shine a bit more. And obviously a white secondary. No custom wheels on this one because I couldn't find any that were as good looking as the base wheels, so the base wheels shall stay. I just like this car. It's got a really unique looking front end that I don't know, I really like it. It looks really mean from the front, like a car that I would be afraid to race at a racetrack. And then the taillights, that straight across taillight just looks badass too. So that is the Dinka Gesture. I've owned that car for a while. Couldn't bring myself to sell it. Next is the Corrin Kuruma. I actually have two of these. I have this one and I have an armored variant. They used to look exactly the same, with the exception of one being in a matte color with black secondary, and this one, which was all gloss and a red secondary, but you can't tell unless you're looking at the roll cage. And then I decided that was too stupid, and it was like having two of the same car, so I changed the armored one to gray with black. But should still have the same wheels. But yeah, the Corrin Kuruma, I got this actually not too long ago, because when I bought it at that point didn't really have any JDM cars, any foreign import vehicles, because I'm a muscle car guy, so I needed some to take to shows and stuff like that, so I went and bought this because it was affordable and it does look cool, and obviously reminiscent of the Mitsubishi Evo 10. And something I did try that a lot of people dislike but a lot of people like is the interior, or not the interior, the roll cage is always your secondary color, or a lot of the times it's your secondary color. And so I made my secondary color red, and I think the yellow and the small amounts of red, obviously if it was a body panel it'd bother me, but the roll cage I think looks really good in red with the yellow body. I've had a lot of people complain that didn't look good, but if brake calipers look good red, then I think so do roll cages. So that was my excuse every time people said that. Next is the Pegasi, I think. I'm tired. Yes, the Pegasi Osiris. Now there are a couple different reasons I bought this car. Number one being it was expensive and came with a DLC and I had to have it. But number two is this feature right here. That's right, go-wing doors. I love the go-wing doors. But no, seriously, it is a great car. It's a beautiful body. It just looks really cool. Again, supercars aren't very practical. I think they're a little bit overrated. But it looks good, it sounds good, and it performs fantastic. And when I ended up designing this, I couldn't find a color combination until I always set my cars to either black or white before I'm putting any sort of paint on them, and then I'll go from there. And I set this to white, and I was scrolling through the colors, and I saw that blue, and as soon as I saw that blue, I decided right then and there that was the color it was going to be. And I matched the wheels to it and everything, but the tires, when you burn out, the tires do the same color smoke. And one thing I really like about some of these supercars too is this headlight right here. When you turn your headlights on, that little center emblem on the hood comes on, which I think is really cool with a lot of the supercars actually. But yeah, it's a very, very big but neat looking car. Cost quite a bit of money, but that's why it's in this garage and not a different one. So yeah, that's the Pegasi Osiris. Closing in on the end of this garage. I think we're just about halfway there. Next is the Bravado Buffalo S, which I'd assume is the Bravado Buffalo Sport. got this car. This was the first car I purchased in GTA ever. And it's not like in the first garage showcase I said something very similar about the Coquette Classic. But the Coquette Classic was the first six-figure car that I bought in GTA. This was the first car I ever bought in GTA. Because it looks very much like a Charger, and I love Chargers, and so I love Mopars, but I definitely like Chargers, and so I had to get it because I like Chargers. And it's actually in a red that you cannot get in the base game. Strangely enough, there must have been a bug, and I don't want to change it because I really like this red, but I was in a crew when I first started GTA that had a really bright, this was the crew color, and I left that crew after I painted this car, sometime after I painted this car this color red, and it didn't change the car color. And so now, when I go to the mechanic to have it, I can't have it repainted because the primary color isn't in the list. It's not... when I scroll through the list of colors, and you got that little icon next to the colors on the right hand side, I don't have that icon on any of the colors. It's a unique color, and for some reason I still have it even after leaving that crew. So I don't want to get rid of it because it is a really cool color. I like it. It looks very racy. But yeah, that's the story on that color. You can't go to the Los Santos Customs and get that color. You have to be talented, I guess. And here is my least favorite supercar. It sounds like you're trying to show off every time you start this. This is the Turismo R, and you'll see what I mean here in about 3 seconds. I didn't push a single button. I got in the car and it made that noise, and it's really annoying because it makes it sound like you're trying to show off, and again, it's annoying. And it used to be that you couldn't move until that little sound sequence was done, but now you can. But that aside, it is a good looking car, and you'll hear it again here in just a second when I start the car, because it does it every time it starts. It's like it's set up to rev every time you start it, and I don't know why, but it is a good looking car. And it actually used to be black and red, and Nate, Blackheart13137, who does the Minecraft stuff with me, his was red and black, and he told me that I was copying him, and we argued for days that it was two different color schemes, just inverted, and he told me that I was copying him. So in order to try and alleviate that, I went and switched it to white with a race yellow color, and obviously he thought that that looked great, and then he went and copied it, and I give him grief all the time now for it. But I do really like the color combination on this car. I think it looks really European sports car or supercar race type thing. Definitely pleased with the color combination on that. And again, another instance where I had the base car in front of me as a white color, and I was scrolling through the colors, and it just happened to pop up on that scheme, and I kept it because it looked good. But yeah, that is the Grotty Turismo R. That second to last supercar, I think, that's in this garage. I try to keep them all on that side. The next car is the Invitar Coquette, just the regular one. And this is the first car that I tried that whole red secondary for the roll cage thing on. Because again, this one, all the black that you see on the car was there when you bought it. It's because it's carbon. You can't change it. Well, you might be able to change it, but stock, it's carbon. And so I went, and when I bought this car, I wanted it to stand out, so I put it in lime green because I'm notorious for really, really bright colored cars. And I couldn't find the secondary color until I put a roll cage on it and found out that the roll cage was a secondary color. So I then went and changed the roll cage to red, thought it looked really, really good with the lime green, so I kept it. And so far, I am not disappointed. Definitely a good looking color. Got the nice looking engine in there with a turbocharger and all that stuff, but yeah, obviously modeled after the more modern Corvettes. Like the game child. I need to get rid of that stupid license plate though, because it's dumb. I need to make a new one and come up with something more appropriate. But yeah, it's a very sports car vibe. You know, the spoiler, the low profile with the chin diffuser, or the chin spoiler and the diffuser, the now I can't even think of the word I was gonna say, but yeah, I went for very sports car look on it. You know, one of those cars you'd think you'd see in a movie about racing, like Fast and the Furious, or you know, where they tune their cars to make them look like race cars. So next up is the most expensive decoration in the game. This is the Progen T20, the $2.2 million supercar that came with Ill-Gotten Gains, Part 2. Yeah, the $2.2 million price tag should have said it all. I try to keep a pretty good bank account in GTA, and so when this car released, I decided that I absolutely had to have it, and I bought it. And I just like it. It's designed, in case you can't tell, you don't know much about the supercar or European cars of that nature. It's designed after a McLaren. You can tell by the taillights. But I think it's a really cool looking car. It's the only supercar I know of so far that has that doesn't lift up the whole center body section, or the whole rear body section. It just lifts that little centerpiece there. And it's in a dark gray with a dark red. I think that's a good looking color combination on it. And I like the doors. I really like the now I can't think of the word. The Batwing doors. I think it's a good looking car. Again, $2.2 million price tag, had to have it, and it had to go into my rich a-hole garage because it's a rich a-hole garage. Last up in this garage is the Bravado Verlier. This is an interesting little car. I don't like the taillights very much, but aside from that, no complaints. Came with the Executives and Other Criminals DLC. Good lord. Tired of yawning. And it's in a lava red with, I can't remember if it's a yellow or a bright orange pearlescent. But I did that so that the primary would stand out. Now, one thing that is interesting about this car that I really do like, and you'll be able to tell looking at the brake pads or the brake calipers, is your secondary color on this car is your brake calipers. And that was one that I was able to see, because when I change a secondary color, I always look for what changes before I select a secondary color. However, I must not have been looking hard enough, because you can sort of see it through the hood. And I'll open the hood here in a minute. But on this big monstrous 12-cylinder car, when you change the secondary color, it also changes your valve covers. And I thought that looked awesome, and it happened completely by accident. But I ended up, I liked it. So yeah, just a fun fact: whenever you change your secondary color on this car, to my knowledge, I know for a fact it changes the brake calipers, and it also changes your valve covers on your engine. So if you're going to a car show with the ability to show off under the hood, definitely a neat little thing to know. And that is the end of this garage. I mentioned it in the last video, and I'll mention it again here. If you do enjoy the cars in GTA and you would like to take part in some car meets and car shows that I'm going to be trying to host in the coming weeks and months, go to the link down in the description to our social club page for Car Meets Redux. It's a car meets crew that I am currently in the process of building on GTA, and it's currently a private group, but I will accept any applications that come through. I just won't set it to public until I have a full developed admin team, so that we can host daily. I want to host car meets once a day, at least once a day. That's the goal, and as of recording this, it may or may not have been reached. It may never be reached, but the goal is to make a car meets crew that hosts once a day, unless there's something that came up for everybody and some freak incident happens and we can't cover up the slack. But definitely go check it out if you like cars in GTA, because it's a really fun experience just going to these car shows and seeing everybody's cool cars and showing off yours and hearing some feedback about your cars and stuff that you may not know. So that about wraps it up. If you like the video, drop a like rating in the section below. If you've got any questions, comments, or concerns about the cars seen in this video, please type them in the comments section. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more content in GTA or Minecraft or the crew. I know I've got the crew cross-country race going on. We're going to do a cross-country road trip as well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Take care.